Top Tennis Training, #1 for online tennis.
Hey guys, Simon and Alex here from Top Tennis Training.
And today we're going to look at the basics of doubles. And so first of all, let's have a look at the positions on the serve. Now, in singles, Simon would be standing a lot closer to the middle because he's got the full court to cover. In doubles, he'd have to adjust his position, stand a lot wider because he only has that half a court to cover and his partner would have the rest of the court. Now, the only time you would stand a little bit closer to the middle is when you're doing the I formation, but it's more an advanced tactic and something we'll go into more detail in our later videos. Now let's have a look at the return positions. So obviously when you're receiving a serve from a doubles player, because they're standing a lot wider, you now have to adjust your positioning on the return to give yourself the chance to receive that wide serve if they go for the wide one, and you're still able to cover the middle one because of the angle that the ball is coming from. Now let's have a look at the positioning on the volley. Now when your returner's partner or service partner, a common mistake that we see with players recreational level is players standing too close to that tram line. Now this really takes you out of the point because the receiving player, the returner, he has a lot of space to hit into off that serve. So what you want to do is adjust your positioning and go a lot further into the middle of the box so that you're able to cover more of the angle, and if the return is not good enough, you're able to come across and put it away. Now it's very important that you're constantly moving while at the net and you're on the balls of your feet and not on your heels. This will give you the ability to push off quickly and reach whatever the ball that you're receiving. If you do end up getting a ball from the return which is not hard enough, you want to be able to hit the ball down so the trajectory is going low over the net and you're going either into the feet of your opponent or better still a little bit to the side and in line with their feet, so they're not able to pick it up. As if it goes straight to them, they might be able to react. If it goes a little bit further away from them, it's a lot tougher to reach and it will probably be your point. Now, hitting straight at the opponent is also a good tactic depending on their level. Obviously the more advanced players might be able to react and get that ball back, where the slightly lower ranked players might struggle with that, so if you go straight at them, it's a good way to establish yourself at the net and intimidate the opponent. Now where do we stand when we serve as partner? Now on the first serve you want to be quite close to the net because the likelihood of a good return is very low, so you want to be able to get onto that slow return and put the ball away, hopefully in the direction of the opponent's volley player. Now if there's a second serve, they might have a better chance to attack you off it, so you want to adjust your positioning a little bit further back, and depending on how the serve is hit and if you can see the opposition struggling, you're then able to close down and move in forward. It's also very important that you watch out for that lob, so you're able to move back quickly and hit the smash if you need to. Now let's have a look at the positioning of the returner's partner. Obviously if there's a first serve, the returner will be in a more of a defensive position because the first player that can now hit the ball would be the net player of the opposition, so you want to be able to move back, and what would Simon do is go a little bit closer to the middle, so he's able to close the middle because obviously the opposing net player will be aiming through the middle and it'll give Simon the best chance of getting that ball back if he does go there. It's also very important that Simon adjusts his foot position so that he's facing that net player, because obviously that's where the ball might come from first, and if the ball goes past the net player, he'll then adjust his position and face the baseline player. Now on the return of the second serve, the net player can start to look to go a little bit closer in and really put pressure on that serve and look to get the third shot if the ball hasn't been hit hard enough. Don't forget, the starting position is not necessarily the hitting position, so you may start more in the middle of the box, but then when the serve's been hit or the return's been hit, depending on where the ball's gone, you might adjust your footwork and go forward and close the net down. Obviously the closer you are to the net, the more angle you have available to you and the tougher it is to hit the net. So the closer you are, the more chance you have of hitting a good shot and winning the point.
Now, a common thing that I see with a lot of club players is when they're at the net, they stay very still. So they're not showing any energy to the opponents and they're not showing that they're willing to cross at any second. Now if you watch professional players at the net, they're constantly moving, they never stop. Now this is one of the biggest things that you can do in your own tennis game when you're playing doubles, to really impose yourself on the court and threaten with the cross at any time.
Now, where do we aim when we return? Now, the best place to aim if the player has come forward off that first serve is to go into their feet. So as they're running in, my perfect shot would be into the feet, make them volley up, and then either my partner or me, I'll be able to hit the next shot a lot more powerfully and hopefully win the point. Now on the second serve, the opponent might not always come in, so they might stay back, and if they are staying back, you want to avoid the net player, so you want to get the ball back deep or even get a bit of angle so that you get that server in trouble, or alternatively you can also go down the line and test that net player and really intimidate them and make them a little bit scared and not look for the ball as much. It also helps to go down the line if the net player is crossing a lot. So if they're crossing and you go down the line, you keep them honest, and it hopefully stops them moving so much of the net and gives you a bigger space to aim into when you do return cross court. Now what do we do with the first volley after we've served and we've come forward, the return has come back to us, what do we do with that ball? Now the first thing that's important is you try and keep that ball low, because the higher the ball goes over the net, the more chance the net player has to reach that ball and go down on it, and the more time that the baseliner has and the ball will bounce higher and he's able to hit that ball stronger and obviously put you in trouble. Now if you keep the trajectory low over the net, you're able to keep the ball low off the bounce and hopefully make the baseliner or the net player hit the ball up and give you the chance to have that first hit. So let's have a look. Perfect. Now the best place to aim would be close to the tram line, because obviously that makes a baseliner move across a lot more and it opens up the court for you to go with the next volley through the middle. Now if you see the net player crossing and moving around a lot, sometimes it's good to keep them honest and go down a line off that first volley. A lot of the pros will also go down a line because that keeps the opponent guessing and gives you a good chance to win the point. Now on the down the line, you're aiming into the tram lines because it keeps the ball away from the net player and it makes them stretch, reach for that ball and hopefully pass them on that down the line volley. Now another great return is sometimes the lob. This is when you're in trouble in the point and you see that the net player has really closed the net down, and you can give a high lob that will go over the net player and makes that baseliner move across. So it'll be a shot like this, the baseliner will move across, and it'll completely change the rally because the net player is now not involved and you're able to be in a better position, a more aggressive position off that return. Now what happens when we get lobbed? Now the best scenario is that the net player reaches that ball and smashes the ball away for a winner. Now obviously that doesn't always happen. If the lob is too high and you get caught close to the net, then the baseliner needs to move across and cover you. When the ball goes over your head and you see that you're not able to reach it, you need to cover the other position. You need to move across and say switch to your partner. Now your partner, hopefully the baseliner will move across and he'll say mine. He'll let you know that he's able to get it and play a more defensive shot with you in a good position after it. So guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video on the basics of doubles.
If you like this video, please click the like button. Also leave us a comment down below. What do you struggle with in your doubles game? That's for the future. We can make some videos tailored to your needs. Also, if you haven't joined us on social media, we'll leave the link to our Twitter, to our Facebook and our Instagram, and we release exclusive stuff to each of those different platforms. So make sure you follow us or like us on those different platforms. Top 10 ATP Pro David Ferrer is one of the quickest and fittest players on the ATP Tour, and for the first time ever, he is sharing his secrets behind his fitness and his movement with you. Top Tennis Training traveled to Spain, and together with David, we have built up the website winwithferrer.com. To join the free David Ferrer Secrets of Tennis course, all you have to do, click on the link above or underneath this video.